Welcome to the final video for this chapter, and today we will be concluding this chapter with all the parts that were remained. So today I am going to start with the mole concept of the chapter, which is the most important topic in our chemistry. So let's start. Mole concept. Now what is one mole? So one mole is the amount of substance which is that contains as many particles or entities as there are atoms in exactly 12 gram of the C12 isotope. It means, you see, what is the condition here, or how this mole concept began and why this came. See, atoms and molecules, they are very small in size, and their numbers, they are also very small amount of any substance which is really very large. Means if you are taking about the size and the numbers, they will be very small. So to handle these large numbers, we need a unit which should be some similar magnitude is required. Like for 1 meter, if you are talking about, then 1 meter substance is visible to us. Now, if we are measuring the radius of an atom, then we cannot measure that in terms of meter. So for that, picometer, angstrom, different units are used for this. Similarly, for weighing something or the weight of some substance, like in chemistry, we use the concept of mole. Now what is one mole? See, just as we do not like 1 dozen for 12 items, or similarly gallon is for 5 liters and all. So was your mole concept in chemistry. Now what is one mole? So one mole, it is defined as the amount of substance which contains as many particles or entities as there are in exactly 12 gram of carbon atoms. So here one thing may be emphasized, that the mole of a substance always contain the same number of entities. Means if you are taking 1 mole of any substance, 1 mole of any substance, 1 mole of any substance, that will always contain the same number of particles, whether that 1 mole of substance may be of gold, or whether that 1 mole of substance may be of silver, or 1 mole of substance may be of simple carbon atom. All of them, they will contain the same number of particles or entities. That is 1 mole. So here, in order to determine this number, we use the mass of carbon 12 by mass spectrometer. Means why this carbon 12 was taken? Because carbon 12, it has the mass exactly of 1 gram. So this was taken as a standard one. Now mole is defined with respect to C12 isotope, that 1 mole is defined as that many number of particles which is present in 12 gram of C12 isotope of carbon. Now here, when this was measured, the number of atoms which are present in this, means this carbon atom, one carbon atom was taken, then suppose if this is a carbon atom, then this is made up of small particles. So when it was calculated that 12 gram of carbon atoms, they contain 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 atoms. So this number later came to be known as your Avogadro's number. Avogadro's number. This number came to be known as Avogadro's number, and this is of quite importance in chemistry. That Avogadro's number, the value is 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 here. So if the mass of 1 mole of any substance is expressed in terms of gram, is called its molar mass. Means like 1 mole of any substance, 1 mole of any substance is equal to its molar mass. Now what is molar mass? Suppose if we are talking about water, like 1 mole of water, if we are talking about 1 mole of water, then water is H2O, then the molar mass will be 2 hydrogens will be 2 and oxygen will be 16, that will be equal to 18 gram. It means that 1 mole of water will be equal to 18 gram. Similarly, if you are talking about some atom, then that becomes the atomic mass. Means if you are talking about 1 mole of sodium, if 1 mole of sodium you are talking about, then that will be equal to 23 gram. It means 23 gram of sodium will be equal to 1 mole. See here, one picture is given, like carbon atom mass 12. If that the atomic weight of carbon is 12 gram, then that will contain this many number of particles. These particles are shown by this small spheres. They will also contain 6.02 into 10 to the power 23 atom, and so will contain your copper if taken 63.5 gram, because the atomic weight of copper atomic weight of copper is 63.5 grams. So 1 mole of any substance, 1 mole of any substance is equal to 1 mole of any substance is equal to atomic weight if we are talking about a pure element, or it will be equal to molecular weight if you are talking about any molecule. If you are talking about any molecule. Now, if you want to know the difference between atoms and molecule, kindly refer to the definition that were given to you. Once again, I am repeating. 1 mole of any substance, if you are talking about a pure atom, that will be equal to the atomic weight, or 1 mole of any substance, if you are talking in terms of molecule, then that will be equal to the molecular weight, and that always contain the same number of atoms, that is your 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 atom, and this number is known as your Avogadro's number. Avogadro's number. This number is known as Avogadro's number. So now this was your mole concept. Now the another one is your empirical formula for molecular formula. Now what is the difference between these two formulas? One is empirical formula, another one is a molecular formula. Let's see. Empirical formula, it will represent the simplest whole number ratio of various atoms which are present in a compound, whereas molecular formula shows the exact number of different types of atoms which are present in a molecular compound. Means in case of empirical formula, you will be given like Cx, suppose Hy, and Z, some Z molecules in this way. But when you are talking about your molecular formula, in that case you will know that how many exact number of carbon, suppose C2, H4, and suppose like OH, this type of compound, means how many carbon, how many hydrogen, how many oxygen, and how many other atoms are present. You will know the exact number of those spaces, exact number of those types. So now how to calculate the molecular formula from the empirical formula? Let's do one question here. What is given? A compound contains 4.07% of hydrogen, 24.2% of carbon, and 71.6% of chlorine, 71.65% chlorine. The molar mass is given 98.96 gram. We have to calculate that what is the empirical formula and what is the molecular formula. What are these two formulas? We have to calculate for them. So now how to begin this one, how to do this one? Then the first step is that since all the compounds, means all the atoms are given in terms of percentage, so now what we will do is, let's see, we are going to write here the solution. Now the solution, first of all, what we will do is, we will first of all assume like let the total weight be, means the amount of compound that is given to us, let the weight be 100 gram. So now if it is 100 gram, it means that out of that 100 gram, 4.07 gram is hydrogen, 24.27 gram is carbon, and the rest, that is 71.65 gram, that is your chlorine, because we have assumed that it is 100 gram. Now we have to convert this one in terms of their mole. So now from your basics, how to convert the given weight to the mole? Now see, I'll write it here. To convert a given weight, you have to convert to the number of moles. So that is given by number of moles if you are denoting by N. So N is equal to given weight by the molecular weight or the atomic weight. By the atomic weight, it's better you write it atomic weight. So now what is your given weight of hydrogen? It is 4.07. Hydrogen, it is 4.07, that is the given weight, by the atomic weight of hydrogen is, it's normally 1.008, but for our convenience we take it as 1.00. So let's take it. If you are taking this one as 1, it will be 4.07. For our convenience we have taken it as 1, and for hydrogen it means that I have 4.07 moles of hydrogen present in it. Similarly for carbon, it is 24.27 divided by the atomic weight 12.01, Now here it will be 2.021, and similarly the chlorine. For chlorine it will be, chlorine what was the mole? That was 71.65 by the atomic weight is 35.453, means exact weight are taken. This one equal to 2.021. Now it means that hydrogen is present 4.07 mole, carbon is present 2.021 moles, and similarly chlorine is also present 2.021 moles. Now whatever the moles you have obtained, that one you have to divide the smallest one by all of them. Means what is the smallest one here? This 2.021 is the smallest one, so you divide this 2.021 by this 4.07. Similarly you have to divide all of these values by the given one. So let's see what you will get. That will be 4.07 by 2.021 and 2.021 by 2.021, and another one again 2.021 by 2.021. Means whatever the smallest value you have got, you have to divide all the three values by them. So now if you take the, means rounding off, if you round them off, you will get this one as 2, this one you will get as 1, and this one you will get as 1. It means that your first one, hydrogen, carbon and chlorine, they are present in the ratio 2:1:1. This is your smallest ratio possible. Now how do we write? First of all we will have to write carbon, then how many hydrogens? 2, and then how many chlorines? 1. Or you can write it either way, that will be H2, C and Cl. Means you cannot change that. Hydrogen is present 2, carbon 1 and chlorine is 1. So this is known as your empirical formula. Empirical formula shows us the lowest possible, means what is the lowest possible values or the ratios for the given compound. Like empirical formula represent the simplest whole number ratio, means after reducing everything you will get this one as simplest ratio between these three compounds. So now followed by this one, let's move to the next page. Here now we have got the empirical formula. This is your empirical formula. Empirical formula is given by your CH2 and then Cl. Now let's calculate the molecular formula. Now for the molecular formula, what we will do is that we have to calculate the molecular formula of this compound. Means what is the molar mass of this compound? CH2Cl. Now let's see what will be the molecular formula. Here it was CH2Cl. So now calculate the molar mass. Carbon will be 12 plus hydrogen will be 2 into 1 plus chlorine will be 35.5. Now when you are going to calculate this, you will get 12 plus 2 plus 35.5. Now if you add them, you will get as 12 plus 2 is 14, and 14, that's when you will get around 49.5. You will get this one. So 49.5 you will get. Now whatever your molar mass is given to you, this is the value given to you, 49 point, means now you divide this one. Means now you have to divide the molar mass by the empirical formula mass. Divide it, then dividing you will get 98.96 divided by 49.5. Now if you round it off to the nearest value, you will get almost equivalent to 2. Now this 2 you have to multiply to all the values here. So here it was 1, when you will multiply it you will get 2, then it will become C2. Then in case of hydrogen it was already 2 here in the empirical formula. When you will multiply by 2 you will get 4, and with chlorine you will get Cl2. So this is your molecular formula and this is your empirical formula, CH2Cl. This is your empirical formula. Now if you compare these two, you see empirical formula means when you are reducing everything, you see 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4 and 2 ones are 2. What you got? CH2Cl. This is your empirical formula. Empirical formula shows you the simplest ratio of all the atoms which are present in a particular compound, whereas Molecular formula shows us the exact number of atoms which are present in any compound. This is your molecular formula, and the first one was your empirical formula. Now, moving to the another section, that is your stoichiometry and stoichiometric calculations. What are these two things? See, the word stoichiometry is derived from two Greek words. Stoichion, which means element, and metron, which means measure. So stoichiometry means it deals with the calculation of masses. Sometimes it may calculate volume also. Masses when it is solid, volume when it is liquid or gas. In that case, of the reactants and the product involved in a chemical reaction. Now for this, first of all, we have to understand that what is a reactant and what is a product. I hope that you are already aware of this, like what is a reactant and what is a product. Let me write a reaction here. Suppose I have a reaction of, I'm taking a reaction from your book. This is methane plus oxygen. They are reacting and they formed carbon dioxide gas plus water molecule, H2O. And let's balance this one. Balancing you are already familiar with. This is a balanced one. Now this methane, this is available in the gaseous state. This oxygen, this is also available in the gaseous state. This carbon dioxide, this also comes in the gaseous state, and this is the exothermic one, so this water also comes in the vapor state. Now here you see, those which are present on the left side, they are known as the reactants. They are known as the reactants, and those which are present on the right side, they are known as the product. They are known as the product. Now in this compound, this G which are written in the first bracket, they tell us about the state of the reactants, state of the reactant, or the phase of the reactant, in which phase they exist, whether it is solid, liquid or gas. Similarly, this G and G, they are also for the product phase. This can be written as, like, if something is written in liquid, then suppose X plus Y. If they are in liquid state, then we will write a small bracket and L. If they are present in solid, then we will write small bracket and S. This is how they are written. The state of the reactant is mentioned just by writing the state in a first bracket given next to the reactant which is reacting, or the product which has been formed. Now this stoichiometry and stoichiometron, they come from this reaction, a complete reaction from where which value is known as stoichiometry. Let us see here. Now here the chemical reaction, let me write it here. The chemical reaction was CH4 plus oxygen. It formed carbon dioxide plus water. Now when we have balanced this, we got 2 here, 2 2s are 4, then oxygen became 2 plus 2 4, so it will be 2 here. Now here you see, here the value, see one by one. This reaction says that 1 mole of CH4 reacts with 2 moles of oxygen. You see, 1 mole means, because in the coefficient nothing you have, it means 1. So 1 mole of CH4 reacts with 2 molecules of oxygen to give 1 molecule of carbon dioxide and 2 molecules of water, 2 moles of water. This reaction is expressed in terms of moles here. They are expressed in terms of mole. Similarly, the same reaction can also be said like that. Like 1 molecule of methane reacts with 2 molecules of oxygen to give 1 molecule of carbon dioxide and 2 molecules of water. This is also correct for the above reaction. And another one, 22.7 liter. Now this 22.7, from where it came, you will understand it when we will move further in the coming chapters, like in states of matter, why this 22.7 is there. But at present, you just keep in your mind that this 22.7 liter of methane gas reacts with 45.4 liter of oxygen to give 22.7 liter of carbon dioxide and 45.4 liter of water. Now what I will say is there, in short, I'll say that just as 1 mole of any substance, 1 mole of any substance, it was equal to 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 in terms of particles. But when this is expressed in volume, means in terms of liter, then 1 mole of any substance you will get as 22.7 liters. That is how it is here, 22.7. And see, how many moles of oxygen were there? 2 moles. So when 22.7 is multiplied by 2, you will get 7 2s are 14, 4, 1 in hand, 5, and 2 to the 4, that is here. It means that 1 mole of any substance, if it is written in terms of particle, it is 6.022 into 10 to the power 23. When written in terms of liter, then that is equal to 22.7 liters. Another one, 16 gram of methane. It means that 1 mole of methane is equal to, see, carbon is 12 plus 4 hydrogens, that is 16. It means that 16 gram of methane reacts with this one, 64 gram of hydrogen oxygen to give 44 gram of carbon dioxide and 36 gram of water. So these all things can be written for a simple reaction. For a same reaction, you see how many ways they have represented it. 4 ways they are representing. Now in this reaction here, CH4 plus 2O2 produces CO2 plus 2H2. In this reaction, this value, the coefficient, they are known as the stoichiometric coefficient. Stoichiometric coefficient. They are known as your stoichiometric coefficient here. The coefficient 2, and similarly this in this cases it is 2 and in this case it is 1. So they are known as your stoichiometric coefficient. They represent the number of molecules or the number of moles which take part in a chemical reaction. Means those values which are telling me that how many oxygen molecules or how many methane molecules are reacting in a reaction, they are known as your stoichiometric coefficient. Okay, so if you did not get anything, you just read the video and watch it once again. Next, we end this here. So thank you for watching the video up to here, and remaining everything, if you have any problem, you can see the previous videos, and if you have any problem, you don't understand any topic, you can feel free to message me. Thank you for watching the video up to here, and have a good day.